that the NBA 75 book is cool too because there's so many rare photos in that, like from the old school stuff.
Yep.
Actually, I recommended that to you a long time ago. I think you forgot about it, and then you suddenly discovered it again yourself afterwards.
Well, last year was the NBA 75, right? So it makes sense. It was released last year.
Yeah. And when I first saw that, I knew something you like because there's so many old school photos.
Yep. Yeah, I like the NBA history stuff. It's still a little bit biased towards the modern day guys, but at least they have some old school photos in there. Yeah.
Because when I was flipping through the pictures online, I was like, oh yeah, there's actually some interesting photos from old school. Some angles too interesting.
They kind of skip some of the eras. Like you won't see like Bob Pettit, like whatever. They don't talk about him, but I mean they won't show like that. But yeah, I guess more than most. It's just that most NBA stuff don't even talk about the old age at all. And basically for the ABA, everyone only talks about Dr. J, and that's basically it. Right. So that's the one thing, and kind of it doesn't talk about the ABA Pacers, which I wish more people talk about the ABA Pacers. Like I have that George McGinnis jersey actually, but yeah, like people don't talk about that, but that was a huge dynasty in the ABA. Like that team went to 5 finals. The ABA only lasted 8 years. That team went to 5 finals. Like that's more than the entire history. Like
how many times did they face Dr. J?
They faced Dr. J. I don't think they ever faced Dr. J actually, because every time in the finals they faced someone different. I think they faced Rick Barry in 1972.
But because Dr. J was at that time in New Jersey, right?
But the thing is,
were they in the same conference at the time? So they would have faced in the playoffs.
They would have placed in the playoffs.
Exactly.
But not in the finals.
Yeah, exactly. But in the playoffs, that's the thing. I wonder how many times they met up.
That one, the thing is, Dr. J and his Nets, they started becoming really good right when the Pacers were declining. The Pacers were actually really good right when the league started. And then they were kind of dominant just all the way towards the end. And then towards the end, it was Dr. J's Nets and the Kentucky Colonels, which is Artis Gilmore, right? So Artis Gilmore, Dennis, so their Colonels versus Dr. J's Nets. Those are like the two really good teams. I guess the Pacers did go to the finals in 75, but that was pretty much just McGinnis at that time. So basically everyone else was declining. Yeah, no one ever talks about that.
Hey man, I tell you, the buddy that always like talks about basketball with you, man. For sure, he barely ever watched like the actual Bulls play back in the day. Actually, back in the day, I have a feeling he probably didn't even like basketball much back in the day. But now he's like all afterwards, just looking back at YouTube clips, and say, "Oh yeah, I like Jordan."
Well, he said he's a Knicks fan actually, but then he said, but he doesn't like Ewing because Ewing choked apparently too much, and then he has a huge respect for Reggie Miller because he killed the Knicks. And he's like, well, Reggie Miller's really good because every time I saw him on TV, he destroyed my Knicks, so he must be really, really good.
Not every time, man. He only had like 2 good games, and they were 2 really, really good games.
But the thing is, everyone remembers Reggie's games against the Knicks.
What kind of game record against the Pacers? I know because I watched all the games back then. Since the 80s, I watched every single Chicago Bulls game that was on TV, even the regular season games, since 87. Because I had WG in Chicago. I was one of the one few people that actually had, because we had those black boxes that's hacked. So I actually got all Chicago channels. So because of that, I watched every single regular season game that was on WGN. So tell me anyone that's not in Chicago that has watched every single Bulls game that's regular season. It's against shitty teams that I've watched. I even watched all the shitty matchups. Bulls versus back then Milwaukee Bucks. You know, like not the Sidney Moncrief one. It's the one later.
The Terry Cummings one.
You know, and then like all these like in the Clippers, Bulls versus Clippers. The shitty Clippers back then.
Didn't have anyone back then.
I watched all those games in regular season. You know, obviously the playoff games I watch everything. And it's not just for the Bulls. When playoff comes, then I watch all the teams since the '80s. So I've seen the Knicks, I've seen the Pacers. You know, I know how good these guys are.
But the thing is, I think with casual fans like him, what they do is they let their bias is they're too influenced by what they already saw. It's observational bias basically. So he might have seen like 1 or 2 games where Reggie Miller did really good against the Knicks, or then Michael Jordan. He said he originally didn't like Michael Jordan, but then Michael Jordan's so good he had to like him. And then he's like, yeah, most people didn't like Michael Jordan back then, but he was so good. You know, all the haters turned into fans. So He probably saw like a few of these games where Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan is really good, and from that he just says, "Oh, they're always good, right? They can beat anything, and LeBron can't play in that age and stuff like that."
It's retarded. They say, "Oh yeah, he can't catch up with Jordan." Dude, Jordan scores 50%. That means half the time he didn't score. What do you mean he's so fast? You can't stop him from scoring.
He's like the fastest guy. Always wins. You can't catch him.
Isn't the tallest guy never? So the tallest guy never misses. Fastest guy always wins. So who the hell wins? The tall guy or the short guy? The short guy's the fastest normally.
Mm-hmm.
So who's gonna win? The short fast guy or the tall guy? Retarded. So clearly it shows he doesn't play sports. He doesn't even play sports. Anybody that plays sports seriously would not say retarded stuff like that.
Well, every time I bring this stuff up, I was like, what happened with Jordan the first 7 years? What happened to Jordan without Phil Jackson? And he switches to a different topic. He's like, he ignores it and says, oh, what happened to LeBron the first 7 years? I was like, I'm not talking about LeBron. Right?
Well, actually, LeBron did a lot in the first 7 years. He went to the finals in 2007, man. Third year in the league. It's like...
Yeah, he always changes the topic, and then he'll say, well, Jordan did more in a lot less time than LeBron did. I was like, okay, well, what about Magic? Magic got 5 rings in like 12 years. He's like, no, dude, don't switch the topic and bring Magic into the conversation. We're talking about Jordan and LeBron. That's what they say to me.
Yeah, that's because Jordan got lucky, and he got into a situation with a stable team, stable system with Phil Jackson coaching, a great coach. LeBron couldn't even find a good coach until now. Right? He had mediocre coaches his whole career.
And still, it's not a Hall of Fame coach. I don't think Frank Vogel's a Hall of Fame coach or anything. Mm-hmm. But no. You're not comparable to Phil Jackson. Right. Phil Jackson is one of the greatest coaches ever.
Now, Vogel is the best coach LeBron's ever had. He's a very good coach. Yeah, but he's not like Greg Popovich.
But he's not Phil Jackson.
He's not Phil Jackson. He's not Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson is that whole coaching staff that was great. It wasn't just him. Mm-hmm. He was a great leader with good vision, smart.
And Tex Winter.
Tex Winters, Johnny Bach, Jim Clemens.
So LeBron never had anyone like that.
No, nothing. Tex Winters and Johnny Bach, man. If you actually ask Horace Grant, when Horace Grant switched teams to Orlando, what happened was the trainers and the assistant coach in Orlando were like so impressed with like his fundamentals defensively. And it's the stuff like in terms of knowing when to switch and when to cover, when to whatever. The assistant coaches in Orlando was like, holy shit, because it was Brian Hill who was the fucking head coach of Orlando. That guy sucks. He was the Grizzlies coach afterwards. And everyone's like, wow, where did you learn this stuff from? And he was like, yeah, I learned from Johnny Bach. So Johnny Bach spent a lot of time on developing those players. Yeah, from Pippen. That's why Pippen and Grant came in 100% raw. Pippen was shooting 50% from the free throw line. But that Bulls coaching staff was so good at developing people. That's why Horace Grant's twin brother didn't do jack, in the NBA. So.
Yeah, and then of course they don't want to talk about Horace Grant being good. But but I also mentioned that Jordan actually lost in 1995 versus Shaq and Penny, right? And Jordan, like when he left the team in 1993, retired, the Bulls only lost 2 more games without him. Mm-hmm. LeBron leaves his team, they lose 40 more games without him. And then he ignores this and he goes, Jordan won 2 3-peats in 8 years. LeBron would never do that.
That's the team. The team won 2 3-peats.
So he ignores that and he just goes on about Jordan's 3-peats.
Exactly. That was the team that you're talking about that won 50-something games without Jordan. Exactly. With Jordan, they won 2 3-peats. It's a team that actually still won a lot even when Jordan wasn't there. It was a good team. That's why they won 2 3-peats. Right? It's not Jordan, it's the team. Same thing with LeBron too, right? It's a team.
Yeah, the thing with the Jordan fans is they always want to give Jordan like everything, all the credit. So it's like whenever possible, it's solely because of Jordan that they win.
The thing is, I can tell right away, your friend is not a true Jordan fan. He's not a true basketball fan. He's just a fanboy type of guy, and he's not a true Jordan fan.
But that's most fans actually. They're just these fanboy guys.
Like I'm a true Jordan fan. I'm a true Chicago Bulls fan.
Yeah.
I grew up watching every regular season.
But you see, that's not actually the majority. The majority of people are actually these perimeter fans who only know, he won 6 rings in 8 years, and blah, blah, blah.
But they've never actually watched a game. I went through blood, sweat, and tears with the Bulls because I hated the Pistons. I watched every game. I went through all the hurt against the Pistons in the playoffs. I went through all of that shit. All the stuff that you heard of, I went through it. Right? So, and I witnessed everything, even the regular season games. So, there's no one that's more, qualified to talk about LeBron and Jordan than pretty much me, and unless you're their teammates. But because I grew up watching both, and I'm a fan of both, and I appreciate both, and I know basketball, so then I can tell you exactly the difference between these 2 guys. And honestly, even now, I can't say who's better. However, it comes down to a couple of things where I find that sometimes in a really close game, sometimes in a certain moment, I might think, you know what, Jordan might not have lost the ball there. He might not have caused that turnover. Jordan may have done that in a situation. However, in a whole season of 82 games, I would think, wow, I'm not sure if Jordan could have led that shitty team to the finals. Because I think LeBron's impact is more of a thing where like his right way of playing and the mindset is something that's successful for a whole 82 season. Almost like a big, it's almost like having a great center on your team because he does so much stuff that it evens out for a whole season. You get success no matter what. Whereas Jordan, I find his ability more that one game where you really need something clutch.
Yep.
And then Jordan has that thing to pull off something amazing that one game. LeBron can do it too sometimes. LeBron can definitely do it too. But LeBron's impact is more like his impact was everywhere on the boards, on rebounds, making the right play, galvanizing everyone.
Well, I think it's this thing. Like people have this impression like LeBron, he isn't as clutch as Jordan, right? The reason is probably because Jordan has all these highlight moments at the end, right? Like that, 1998 Finals game, right? The whole play, right? Stealing ball with Karl Malone, going. The thing is, LeBron doesn't really have a moment like that, except for that block on Iggy, but then it's a block, right? So he doesn't have exactly that moment because he tends to make the right basketball play, but it's not necessarily always shooting the ball, right? So instead, you have all these highlights about Ray Allen, Kyrie, and stuff like that. For Jordan's never like that.
But Jordan makes the right play sometimes too. He made the pass to Steve Kerr for a 97 final shot.
Yeah,
right?
but
he gave the ball early in 93, and then Paxson was the one who hit it after 2 more passes from Pippen and Horace Grant.
Yep.
Yeah.
But because those guys are role players, they never show that. They only show the ones times that Jordan did it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 2 of the championships were won by people hitting, actually 3, because in 91, in the very last game against the Lakers, Jordan was totally cold.
Yep.
In the last quarter, but he really wanted to finish it hard his way.
Oh yeah, these guys like my friend. They're always like, yeah, Jordan. He always gets his points no matter what. It's like, dude, he shot 50%. That means he didn't always get his points.
This is what happened in 91. 91, last game. Jordan played great in the series though. I think he averaged like a triple-double in that series. So, last game to close out the Lakers. Jordan really wanted to stick it to everyone, saying he's the best in the world.
Yep.
So Jordan tried to dominate that last game. However, he was kind of cold in the second half, so he was actually missing quite a bit of shots because the whole Lakers team was swarming him. And then afterwards, in the fourth quarter, in the timeout, Phil Jackson was talking in the huddle. He was like giving the strategy and everything. And and then after he kept saying, "Michael, who's open?" And Jordan was ignoring him, sitting there. And then Phil Jackson said again, "Michael, who's open?" He ignored him again.
Yep.
And then Jackson said one more time, "Michael, who's open?" And then afterwards, Jordan looked at him. And he said, "Paxson." And then after that fourth quarter, if you watch the game, Jordan kept giving it up to to Paxson. Paxson hit everything. Everything. Paxson went like 9 for 10 or something like that in that fourth quarter to close out the Lakers. Yeah, so it happens. Yeah, just gotta remind Jordan a little bit, right? And then afterwards, 97, Jordan tells Kerr, "I'm gonna get you the ball." He told him in the timeout right before the last play.
Yeah.
The reason is because he remembered the game before, when they were playing, the game before, or a couple games before in the same series, that at the end, they all knew he was going to take that last shot, or he was going to have the ball, so then they doubled it, they swarmed him. So Jordan remembered that, and he thinks that's what they're going to do again. That's what Jordan predicted. That's why he told Kerr in the timeout. He said, "Hey, you ready?" And that's exactly what happened. He got doubled, Stockton came off of Kerr, and then he made that pass at Curry, hit the game-winning basket for the finals. Right?
Yep.
Same thing 93. 93, Jordan got the inbound ball, going straight up ahead, full head of steam, and he gave it up early to Pippen. And then Pippen halfway drove, gave it up to Horace Grant. Horace Grant gave it up to Paxson. Boom, hit the shot. So it's not like Jordan's always going to hit the clutch shot. That he has hit a lot of clutch shots, but it's a team game. But all this is just like selective stuff. And LeBron has hit clutch shots too.
Yep.
I
I think the thing is that the public perception is what people remember.
Yeah.
So when people remember Jordan always hitting the shot, they don't remember him. Jordan actually made the right basketball decisions sometimes too, but they never remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They only remember, oh, he played with the flu and he had a really good game. LeBron would never do that or something like that. But then LeBron, they only remember, Ray Allen hit the three, Kyrie hit it. They don't remember LeBron scoring 16 straight points in the fourth quarter.
Exactly. And that was a Jordan moment right there, right?
Yeah, but they don't remember that. That's the thing. That's the public perception is different.
And you know the famous Jordan double nickel game? When he just came back from baseball and he scored 55 points on the Knicks?
Mm-hmm.
That famous game in the regular season? It was a close game, and guess what was a game-winning shot? Jordan at 55.
Yep.
Bulls were maybe down by 1 maybe?
Yep.
Or they're tied. Jordan gets the ball, as usual, and halfway penetration, then he fakes like he's going to take a jumper, draws 2 double teams, spun around, pretend he's going to do a fadeaway.
Yep.
Afterwards, he passes it in for a diving Bill Wennington for a slam dunk, and they win the game. But everyone just talks about Jordan 55 points destroys New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the last shot was him drawing a double team or a triple team, and he made a spin pretending he was doing a fadeaway, and he just passed it off to Bill Wellington.
Well, you bet if he made the last shot, it would have gotten everywhere.
Exactly.
When we talked about it.
People forget about that though, right? I mean, now LeBron made perfect passes. Danny Green missed, not his fault.
Yeah.
Right? He drew 3 or 4 guys down the baseline. Right? So I mean, and at the same time, LeBron, 2015, in the playoffs, they're playing the Chicago Bulls. David Blatt was coach. And it was a pivotal game 4, game 5, and then I think they were down by 1. They were down by 1, and it was last second. There's only like maybe 1 or 2 seconds left. David Blatt was drawing a play, and I think David Blatt just fucked up. He drew up the play, drawing that LeBron will be the inbounder from out of bounds. But there's only 1 or 2 seconds left. There's not enough time. There's not enough time for LeBron to get the ball back. And then when he was drawing that, then LeBron, if you saw like on the sideline in the timeout, LeBron was just like shaking his head. LeBron got pissed off. LeBron was like, no, no, no. And then afterwards, LeBron actually told David Blatt, redrew it.
Yep, I remember one of those.
LeBron redrew the play. And he was like, you know what? We do it like this. This guy inbounds. I catch the ball on the baseline, and I'll hit it. That's what LeBron said. And he did. Playoffs. Pivotal. I don't even see Kobe ever do anything like that. You know, LeBron called it out, too, and told the coach, redraw it, call it out, I'll catch it on the baseline, I'll hit it. He did it. That's very clutch. That's really clutch.
Yep, I remember LeBron was trying to. He was basically the coach of that team,
Mhm.
so it was like coaching David Blatt.
Yeah, and Blatt is actually a very good coach, but I think the moment was too big for him. Because if you actually see his European teams, and also in the summer league when he was coaching the Cavs, I loved his offensive execution. But later on, you know, with the injuries and everything, I'm not sure what happened, but they turned into more of a simple, just one man at the top, 1-4-4, high screen roll offense. So he was a good coach, but I think the moment was too big for him. And I think also he doesn't know how to handle the big stars because he's not used to that. So I think he had a tough time actually kind of handling LeBron. Maybe I'm just guessing. This is just my guess. So I think so that actually made the players maybe not respect him because he doesn't know how to control the superstar. So
yeah. But then people always assume that LeBron has control of everything anyways. They think he's a coach, he's a GM, he has the power to recruit players, he has the power to trade players.
Yeah, he chooses presidents too.
Yep. So they think, LeBron has control over everything.
Yeah.
He handpicks his teammates.
He also controls everything Nike does in their manufacturing process. Yeah, he handles all that.
Oh yeah, Nike sweatshops, that's his fault.
Yeah, that's his fault. It's not Kobe's fault, even though he's a Nike line too. You know, it's not Jordan's fault. Although Jordan actually got shit from that too back in the day. But
no, it's only LeBron.
yeah, only LeBron.
And only LeBron has GM powers. Yeah. He's the only person, even though what happened with Kobe and Shaq and Dwight. Yeah, none of that matters.
Yeah, it's stupid, man.
Especially when those guys says, yeah, I'm an NBA analyst and stuff like that, and it's posting stuff that's literally wrong.
What makes them an NBA analyst? Because they self-proclaim themselves an NBA analyst?
Yeah, but they post stuff that's literally wrong. They say, oh, Magic or Jordan never done that. Magic literally did the same thing. No, he did that, right? Mm-hmm. He got Paul Westhead fired, and he traded Norm Nixon. That was totally Magic.
This happened with almost most stars. This has happened, you know.
Yeah, so that obviously happened with a bunch of players, and then same thing actually. One guy brought up a very interesting point about Larry Bird. So Larry Bird in his 1981 finals, he actually didn't do very well. He had 8 points, 12 points, right? So the thing is, Bird basically choked in his first finals, but no one remembers this because they won that series, and that's why he wasn't Finals MVP. The Finals MVP of the first series, Cedric Maxwell, right?
See, even I didn't remember that.
Yeah. See, no one knows about this.
Even I didn't remember that.
Yeah, no one knows about this, that Bird actually choked in the first finals because they won. And people just associate, if you win, then you can't have choked, right? And then they think if you lose, you must have choked. But it's totally not like that, right? The thing is, no one says that Jordan choked.
Oh, no. If LeBron actually won the championship and he has really bad stats, you bet the hell they'll remember it. And they'll talk about it all the time.
Yeah. No, actually...
And unfortunately, those rules don't apply to LeBron.
well, LeBron's always... He's always singled out, and that's the problem.
Exactly.
When Bird chokes in 1981, no one talks about that because he won. Magic, 1984 finals. Tragic Johnson, nope, that gets forgotten. But then Jordan, 63 against the Celtics, right? He got swept that series, right? But it's okay because he got 63 points, right? But LeBron, it's 2011 finals, that's the worst choke job ever, right? And then they talk about,
How about 2015? 2015, he put up legendary stats.
The one that gets me the most is they talk about 2009. It says, Dwight dominated him in the Eastern Conference Finals. Did you see LeBron's stats in that series? He averaged 38.5, 8 and 8, and a buzzer beater in Game 2. Like, how did he get dominated?
The problem is, like, these guys...
Just because he lost? Just because he lost the series?
I watching dudes actually watch the series, though. I watched the whole series.
That's the thing about these casual. They say, just because he lost, that means Dwight destroyed him, or Curry destroyed him because Curry won and LeBron lost.
Dwight destroyed Big Z, big time. Okay, but the thing is, it wasn't just Dwight. Like I mentioned, if you want to see how big of a gap his team's talent was compared to other teams, when his Cavs team, which was actually top 2 or 3 best record in the East at the time, they faced the Orlando team. The Orlando team wasn't even that good. Okay. They had Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, they had Rafer Alston.
That's the argument. It's like, he won 66 games. He should have beat that Magic team.
Okay, well, who else did they have? Who was their Rashard Lewis? They had Rashard Lewis.
Yep, Rashard Lewis.
And then they had one more guy. I forgot who he was. There's one more guy. It was just...
Most of the guys aren't that good on the team.
Yeah, they had some small forward guy, but LeBron dominated that guy. Anyway, so the other were like Rafer Alston, Rashard Lewis, Dwight Howard.
But I think the other 4 on the Magic... Yeah, the other 4 on the Magic, besides Dwight, was still way better than LeBron's other 4.
That's the thing. So what I'm saying is that lineup wasn't even that good. LeBron's team was LeBron, the guy who slept with his mother...
Delonte West. Yeah, Mo Williams. Right.
Mo Williams was there.
Yep.
And then Varejao.
Yep.
And then Big Z.
Yep.
So what happened was, if you actually look at that team, Delonte West was their starting shooting guard. The dude was only 6'2". The dude is the height of a point guard. He's 6'2". This is the best they can front on their starting lineup, was a 6'2" shooting guard. That's how shitty this team was. And then if you watch that whole series, the entire series, every game.
Well, Iverson's the shooting guard. He's 5'11", so you can't just judge by size.
Okay, whatever, man. Anyway, so and even then, Iverson's not going to guard for shit.
Yeah.
Right. And then the thing is, what happened was the other side. If you watch the whole series, besides LeBron's matchup, LeBron dominated his matchup. Yeah. But besides LeBron's matchup, all the other 4 positions, whenever one guy caught the ball, whether it was Rashard Lewis, Rafer Alston, whether it was Hedo Turkoglu or Dwight, they had to double team every single 4 position if they caught the ball, besides LeBron's spot. How are you going to win basketball when you have to double team 4 positions? You're at a mismatch in 4 positions. They had to double team 4. Rafer Alston destroyed Mo Williams like he was Michael Jordan. Rafer Alston and Hedo Turkoglu looked like Michael Jordan out there. Hedo Turkoglu was being guarded. Hedo Turkoglu was like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
He was guarded by 6'2" Delonte West. And then Hedo Turkoglu was like, what is this? So he was just like shooting over the guy like there's nothing. He was like fading away like he's Jordan. Yeah. He was scoring everything because Delonte West can't guard him. He's 6'2".
Yeah.
And then Rafer Alston, he was like going between his legs, doing spin moves, hook shots, and floaters all over Mo Williams. Mo Williams sucked the entire playoffs. And then the media had to ask him after, what's going on with you in the playoffs lately? And he was like, this is what Mo Williams said. Oh, they're rushing me. They're rushing my shot. Dude, it's the playoffs. Of course they're going to rush you. They're going to give you a wide open shot? Are you fucking retarded? And then, so he was destroyed by Rafer Alston. Mm-hmm. Rashard Lewis was destroying Varejao because he can shoot the 3 from the outside.
Yep.
So Varejao can't guard the perimeter. Dwight was killing Big Z. Mm-hmm. And then after that, after the first game, they had to double team every position. That's the problem. It wasn't LeBron. LeBron was the only position that didn't have the double team. And he was dominating that position. So that was a series. It had nothing to do with LeBron.
Yeah, but the problem is, people only look at who won, who lost.
Yeah.
And they assume if you lost, you must have choked.
And just to show how big of a gap the talent level was, they were being mismatched in 4 positions and needed double team. But when this Orlando Magic team went to face the Lakers in the finals, the Lakers did not need to double anyone. They didn't even have to double team Dwight. They did not even double team Dwight a single time. That's how good the Lakers were.
The Lakers were a much better team.
Yeah, that's how stacked the Lakers were. They're like, you know what? We don't need to double team any of these guys, and we're still gonna win the series easily, because they're just way better on from start to bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have Dwight, whatever. They had Bynum. We have Bynum, and we can switch Gasol on him too.
Gasol, and Odom. Yeah. You had 3 really good big guys on there.
We have Bynum or Gasol. We can switch either one on them, one-on-one. We're not going to double team, and it was fine. Yeah. And once they pushed Dwight out, there's nothing much he could do. And then after that, everyone else, it's like, Rashard Lewis, fuck you, man. We got Odom, man. He'll kick your ass in the perimeter. Try scoring Odom in the perimeter. Boom, that's it. No double team there. It's like, and then Hedo Turkoglu, same thing. We got Odom. Odom can guard either Hedo Turkoglu or Rashard Lewis, because he's 6'10", and he's a small forward. He can guard either one of those guys, so none of those guys did anything. Rafer Alston, whatever, man. Just do your one-on-one stuff. We don't care. It's like, Yeah, they had a bunch of 6'6" guys that can play point guard.
Yeah, and Kobe's 6'6" too.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
So pretty much, like, they didn't have to double team anyone, and then just won easily. So that's how big of a difference LeBron's teams were compared to, like, in terms of talent.
Yeah,
compared to everyone
so
else.
I mean, that's what they say. Oh, LeBron and Kobe should have faced each other in the finals. Well, LeBron would have obviously lost the finals, right? If he even went there.
Yeah.
Well, the really annoying thing is that the media keeps playing this up. It's like, oh, LeBron failed to meet Kobe in the finals in 2009. What about 2011? What happened in 2011?
2011, 2012, both.
No one talks about 2011 because Kobe was the defending champions. He had won 57 games in the Western Conference. That's the same as the Mavs, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Then they get swept by the Mavs. No one talks about that.
Well,
No one talks about that at all. They say LeBron,
well, 2011 and 2012. Right?
Yeah.
He lost to OKC in 2012 in the playoffs.
how many games did they win in 2012? I think still a lot, right?
Lakers?
Yeah.
A lot.
They still won a lot,
They
right?
still won a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
They got their ass spanked by OKC. Kobe choked, too, and they
Yes.
played Gasol. That was a year.
So they shouldn't have lost to OKC that year.
2 years straight, the Lakers failed.
Yeah,
2
so
years
so actually 2011 and 2012 both chokes.
Yeah, exactly.
But they never talk about that.
Exactly. And you still had your entire team with Phil Jackson. There's no excuse. You came off of winning a championship. You still have your entire roster with Phil Jackson. You had Ron Artest, everyone.
I forget when did Phil Jackson, I think it might have been 2012, that was his last, 2011 or 2012, that was his
2012
last
was
year.
his last, I think. For sure, 2012.
Because it was Mike Brown after.
He was there for sure in 2012. You gotta remember, he punched Gasol in the neck.
Because I remember it was like Mike Brown, then D'Antoni after. Right. And those weren't great coaches either. So.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, look at 2009. 2009, he had LeBron and Mike Brown. Kobe had Phil Jackson in 2009. LeBron and Mike Brown and all those other bums. Right?
Yep. And look how far Kobe got with Mike Brown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He had like the worst record in the league.
Exactly. But LeBron actually took them to like the second round, at least second or third round.
Yeah.
Second or third round. And even won 6 games. Right? That's what LeBron does. You give him a Mike Brown, whatever. I'll still take you deep into the playoffs. We'll still get like top 1 or 2 like record in the entire Eastern Conference. With Mike Brown, they were number 1 in the Eastern Conference for a couple years. And they went deep in the playoffs.
Yep.
And that year when he went,
So the actual truth in the media should be saying isn't that LeBron choked? It's LeBron overperformed with his
exactly.
teams.
Fucking Mike Brown and Daniel Boobie Gibson in 2007.
Yeah.
That team, Boobie Gibson and Mike Brown, they beat the Pistons and they went to the finals.
And I think the Pistons won like over 60 games or something that year, right?
Yeah, they were still a good team.
Yeah.
I don't know if they won 60 games, but they're still a good team.
No, it was like the other game, the year before they won like 64 wins.
They're still a good team.
But even 2006 Pistons, the one that won 64 games, LeBron took that team to 7 games.
Yeah, exactly.
With Big Z as the second best player.
Exactly. And Mike Brown is coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So LeBron with Mike Brown goes to the finals and beat the Pistons. Kobe with Mike Brown, did they miss the playoffs?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like 2014, 2016, that was like the
and
worst
you had
years.
Odom. Odom was better than anything LeBron had back then. And you couldn't make the playoff. See, LeBron with shit character players and Mike Brown makes the finals. Kobe with Mike Brown and Lamar Odom misses the playoffs.
Yep.
It's totally different level of player. It's like now Jordan and LeBron much closer in terms of what they can do because Jordan with a shit team can still take you deep into the playoffs. You know, like when they went to face the Pistons, he tried to give everything he's got, and you still went to the second round, maybe third round. But LeBron got through those Pistons team and got to the finals. So it's just a hair of a difference, but Jordan was still pulling really similar shit to what LeBron was doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Jordan was, he had a similar load, I think. But if you want to talk about primes, like, okay, let's say Kobe wasn't in his prime when Mike Brown was coach. Okay, in their primes, 2006, you have Phil Jackson, you still got Lamar Odom, right? And it's like, okay, your other players aren't that great, but then you're faced against the Suns team, which doesn't have Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, or Kirk Thomas.
Yeah. So
Both of their big men were injured.
and Lamar Odom was doing really well in that series.
Exactly.
And then you went to Game 7, and then you choke. So that's another choke no one talks about because they only talk about the 50 points that Kobe had.
It wasn't just Game 7 though, because once Kobe, when they're up 3-1 in that series.
Yeah, they're up 3-1.
Yeah.
So that's a massive choke no one talks
The
about.
problem is when Kobe wanted to finish it off his way, they started losing. Because I think Kobe wanted to put the exclamation mark. So then, like by Game 6, he was trying to like shoot a lot, and they lost Game 6. He wanted to close out his way, and then went to Game 7.
Because the only thing they show from that series is like the 50 points that Kobe scored, the buzzer beater or whatever. That's the only buzzer beater he had.
Yeah, exactly.
In the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's the only show, but they blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, and he lost that series too. So it was like, So it's all that bullshit, man. And then,
It's totally selective.
Yeah. And then 05, they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, of course. But then they'll say it's injury or something again.
Well, it wasn't.
Or it was Kwame, it was smushed. They suck. I don't think they suck more than Sasha Pavlovich or Eric Snowden or Booby Gibson, right? All about the same level players.
Yep.
Kwame Brown actually may have been better. Luke Walton and Kwame Brown, I remember, when you look up, I mean, I don't watch as much footage as you, but just looking at the stats, right? They're getting tons of rebounds against the Suns. Like Kobe had a way bigger team than the Suns did. Luke Walton and Kwame Brown were both getting 7 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
Lamar Odom got like 13 rebounds a game against them.
I think actually Kwame was getting like double-digit rebounds in a lot of the games, actually. Like 10 rebounds and more sometimes.
Just because they had size, right?
Yeah.
And they still couldn't win that game.
Exactly. Luke Walton, I remember, was actually out-rebounding them in some games, too.
I mean, the best player, Steve Nash, is only like 6'3". So...
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, but no one talks about that. 2007 is even worse because they have Mari Stoudemire back. And then they get, I think they lost in 5. Once they have Stoudemire back, they lost in 5.
Well, good. So yeah, this just goes to show how Kobe's really not that good, you know? Like, if you just play one-on-one, okay, what? But in the team game, this game doesn't really help your team that much.
Well, that's why, like, you know, when I scroll on my newsfeed, that's why I post all this stuff to you. Because, like, all I see from the Kobe stuff is all the stuff he does in the regular season, right? They always talk about, it's always 2006, because that's his best scoring season. So they're always like, Kobe scored 60 points, then he scored 50 points. Then they have that stupid comment where it's like, points matter more than triple-double. Triple-doubles are meaningless or something like that. So stupid. Of course rebounds and assists matter in the game, right? And they never show his field goal percentage.
You keep fucking chucking, but you keep fucking losing. It's as simple as that. Well, I can give like J.R. Smith green light, take as many shots as you want. He'll put up 30-something, 40 for a stretch too. You give a guard like that, jack up 40 shots a game.
It's just that Kobe and Phil Jackson gave him a green light to shoot that many shots, right? I'm not sure if a modern coach would let a player do that anymore. So that's the thing. I don't think... Like, if you look at this last game where he shot 50 times, that's the most anyone's ever shot in NBA history. Like, 50 times. I don't think any coach would ever give a player, like, 50 shots now. Like, not even close. Like, probably... Okay, maybe you can say sometimes Harden and Westbrook may have shot that many times. Like, maybe 40-something shots. But they're not going to do it as often as Kobe did.
Well, because Kobe just does it surprisingly selfishly. You know, that's the thing. Even more so than anyone else ever.
But it's not just his like selfish tendency, but it's also the coaches let him do that, right? So nowadays, like, because it's more analytics based, you're not going to have coaches like saying, "Oh, you can shoot like 40 shots based on 44% efficiency." They're not going to let you do that anymore.
The thing is, Phil Jackson actually had a huge struggle with Kobe, like during that time. Like, so when he actually eventually quit the team, he was like, "You know what? I quit because I can't handle this kid, because he just can't control."
And he quit like twice or 3 times, right?
That's a big reason why he quit the first time from the Lakers.
Yeah, that was in 2004. After Kobe kept chucking in the 2004 finals.
Exactly, because Jackson couldn't handle it. Like, he couldn't stand the guy. And then it wasn't until like after like then Kobe had a taste of like another coach and Rudy Tomjanovich, and they missed the playoffs.
Yep.
And then Kobe finally became a little bit more receptive to Phil Jackson.
Yeah, Rudy Tomjanovich, they missed the playoffs. Yeah,
exactly. And that's why I said
they needed Phil Jackson just to make the playoffs.
Yep, exactly. Without Phil, you don't even make the playoffs. Simple as that. Well, Phil, then you really keep doing your own thing. You shoot your team to all the losses. Simple as that. That's Kobe's game. That's why he's so damn overrated. Right?
Yeah. No, he's just really, really lucky. Because if you think about it, his team had to be perfectly constructed.
Yeah.
Like, until he got Gasol, because basically they needed a whole bunch of rebounders around him. That's basically, they had to surround him with rebounders.
Yeah.
So he just happened to have a really big team with a bunch of rebounders around him. Then that works.
Yep, and an all-time great coach. And also a city that's easy to attract, like, free agents and everything. And, pretty much.
Yep, so you just need... So when they say that, like... LeBron has to be playing a certain way and stuff like that. Dude, Kobe's such a system player. Or they say Duncan's a system player. Kobe's the biggest system player, man.
Well, Kobe goes beyond being a system player. Kobe is just a player that has such a small margin of error, for actually winning. That he needs everything. He needs like the rebounders around him. He needs the big man. He's never won anything with a dominant post player inside ever. Never. He always needed a dominant post guy to anchor it to,
Yep.
to be efficient to ever even win anything.
That-
He needs a great coach. He needs everything in order to even have a chance of winning.
Yep.
That's Kobe.
And that's why I think Gasol should have maybe got the 2010 Finals MVP, because that he was the reason why they won that series. He grabbed like 18 rebounds in that final game.
Yeah, exactly. And him and Artest pretty much dominate them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, him and Artest pretty much
Yeah,
dominate them.
and I think he should have won that Finals MVP. But yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But then this gives Kobe fans more excuse to say, yeah, I carried Gasol or whatever, because they don't watch the games. Or rather, it's like more like hero worship.
Mm-hmm.